the red side, banning away the Rumble, the Rise, and the Galio. So a little bit of mid lane and solo lane focus here for them.
Yeah, the Galio and Rise has been the big focus that we have seen against NIP here in the best of ones. Gwen was a champion that got left up, so we're seeing Shanji, big smiles. He's going to take that away from themselves, and that does leave the Skarner here for TES.
Ooh, I like that here, giving Kanavi a lot of setup potential and skirmish potential. Then we get JackeyLove with the Varus to try to show up, leave. I know we said in the last game it's been a tried and true for top esports. They didn't go for it in that last game, but here they will absolutely pull it out. Now, a couple responses needed from NIP. A lot of setup. They have a good top laner now. Try to maybe get these solo lanes, get this jungle pick under wraps.
Yeah, what jungler are we looking for? Has to usually be, when we're talking about playing against Skarner, things like a Zyra have been very popular, but from what we're getting from NIP already with leave on this Kai'Sa, you just need engage. You need frontline. Things like, I think, a Wukong can be very disruptive. Things like even potentially a Xin Sao, but I think that might be a bit dangerous going into what TES have already shown with the Skarner Varus.
I'm not going to read too much into it, but when you lock in the Kai'Sa and you see Leave's face right there, there's like anxiety and confidence. You're taking Kai'Sa into JackeyLove on the Varus. I mean, it couldn't write itself. We get the Rakan paired up there to provide some of that in and out potential for PP God. Also a very good classic for him, and comfort going the way of a major support on the team.
Okay, so coming out of this, TS or NIP can play a bit of a dive composition. Also, with this Gwen, you can look for something, try to play a little bit at range. We're going for the Kennen here from 369. We've seen him pick it up a few times here, so let's see if this is a new answer that TS have been able to cook up into the Gwen. Gwen has really torn up the league ever since her introduction, since we got her from LNG, kind of pulling her up a couple days ago.
And I think 369, I mean, it's funny. You go through phases of memory with 369 on different phases of his career, going from playing Kennen, playing these kind of carry top laners as well with a lot of setup to go into that tank setup. But this guy was a very good Kennen, and I love to see him on it yet again. Now in the second phase of bans, that Aurora, we'll see what that focus is for NIP, though, if they want to try to take away some of the supports to give more, I guess, breadth of room to theirs.
I feel like this is such, they're just going to be focusing Doinb's champion pool. As much as we've been kind of making reference, and Doinb internationally is known for being able to play so many different champions, it feels like he kind of has like a champion puddle. He has very, a lot of champions that he plays, but maybe the depth isn't all there. So I wouldn't be surprised to see another pick here. Take away the Nocturne. I get it as like a pairing with the Rakan, but I feel like if you were going to play a Nocturne pair, I don't know if Gwen is necessarily the top set you really want.
I think Gaki's having a little bit of fun with it too. maybe chuckle a little bit, seeing what's going to be in the wheelhouse for him here. What do you go with the final ban though for NIP? If you continue focusing on Crisp, I think okay. Well, that's the answer. It's going to be the Alistar.
No Leona, not even taking away potentially, maybe inviting the Leona, especially since you do have Gwen. Ronaldo would be great as a champion that Crisp has been really well known for, especially in the past couple of years, but you look at what NIP are going for, they're going to dive right into him, and then you have the revival, you also have this ultimate. So NIP on the back end, what champions are we looking for here from Aki and Doinb? Just because you already have this Gwen, you kind of need engage from mid lane, and unless we're maybe getting a Pantheon mid, I just don't really like it going into what TES have got already.
As you say it, literally highlighted right there. We'll see if it actually gets locked in the end. But right now, we have a full change of in different styles between both teams, right? You have this extreme team fight heavy focus for top esports right now, and they still have another piece to add to the puzzle. But you have that all-in, go deep comp from NIP.
Okay. NIP can very easily execute on dives, especially around the bottom lane if they choose to. They have great lane, they have great control. TES, last pick here for Creme. Don't know if I like Azir, especially Creme's Azir has been kind of hit or miss. Honestly, I would really like something like a Jwei, something that he's shown a lot of proficiency on. Even something maybe like his Victor could be an option here. Do you put yourself at risk against a Pantheon and a Maokai? But in the laning phase, I think it's very difficult. So, all right, like you were saying, TES very good team fighting, especially around chokes when we talk about having these two solo laners here, and can very much keep NIP at arm's length. So we need to see NIP find fights, find them fast, and find picks.
The bars of execution are very different between these two teams. Like, you can just scale, wait for objectives, try to find a good positioning on it, and take really nice team fights for top esports. You need to find advantage. Yes, you have great scaling on NIP, right? But you need to have these pieces, especially Aki and Doinb, to a good start. This Pantheon can become a little bit useless if you can't find a lead.
Yeah, my issue with this Pantheon is, are they just inviting instead of a dive? Let Leave and PP God just like get the wave shoved into them, and then with them landing on the bottom side of the map, the Pantheon's going to try and slide in behind them. I think it's very difficult for Varus to necessarily get pushed around by a Kai'Sa, especially pre-couple of items or pre-evolve for the Kai'Sa. So, interesting draft. I am a little bit scared here for NIP, like you were saying. There is scaling options. Kai'Sa and Gwen later on in the game just have so much damage in their kit, but top esports basically get to play a lot of the game in between those points before the level 16 marks hit.
And they are warmed up, I tell you what. I know NIP had a good game to start off the day, but top esports ran FPX into the ground, and now looking to do so with yet another very stylish comp for them, typical style at least, where we have a nice little Kennen throwback from 369. But I am looking at that bot lane matchup and how it compares to this jungle setup here. I think Leave and JackeyLove, not only the names, but the kind of legacy between the two and what they've been building for themselves. JackeyLove for so long, but Leave starting his story here with NIP and finding a lot of success in that route. But it is legacy versus new blood, and it is NIP versus top esports for our third game of the day. That guy's the goat.
They came to play.
Look at those what? Look at those signs. That's so cool.
Oh my god. This was kind of our conspiracy theory behind the scenes, was that TES wanted to pair JackeyLove with Crisp so that they could grab all of the fans. Every last one of them. They wanted probably the most conventionally attractive bottom lane, especially to some of the community, to try to, steal away as many fans for top esports.
The model bot lane is what we should call them. Or something to do with models. Maybe it has something to do with just how damn good they are at the game. Maybe that's just it. No. But it is something to think about a little bit with the backing of top esports and that lackluster moment at internationals here recently. They need to build back up that confidence across the board. Now we get into it. It's going to be same side starts for both junglers, and curiously enough, they're pathing towards top side.
Yep. Gwen can get a little bit of play around, especially in the early game. We're talking about playing into Kennen. Definitely a much tougher matchup, especially with the Electrocute edition. I know with Summon Air getting that, oh my god, Leave is just getting completely owned in this double range matchup. To be fair, that's what we expected.
Take JackeyLove's Kai'Sa into him, this is what happens.
Yeah, but with this topside matchup, I'm interested to see. I was thinking with Summon Aerin getting nerfed, Kennen would be a little bit weaker. Obviously, they buffed Electrocute, so I was hoping maybe we'd see a little bit more of this top laner, especially with AP mid starting to come back into fashion.
I love it too, dude. Just a little thing. Leave is playing the IG Kroba with the against JackeyLove there on the Kai'Sa. You'll love to see it. Little mental diff, and maybe making him mad. Creme does end up buffering out that huge moment, and actually does make it out alive, even though the gank goes in. Flash will be burned, so that'll be returned to.
Yeah, very good flash, and honestly, while it's great for Creme that he survives there, Aki does, I think, relieve a lot of pressure for his mid laner here for this Pantheon. Pantheon's actually going to be very resilient against this Azir very early, especially using the Doran's shield. So I want to see what exactly Doinb is able to do and how he's able to escape lane after some levels have been accrued.
Yeah, I expect him to try to get as active on the map as humanly possible. Right now, man, the push in bot lane is lethal, though. The CS differential is getting huge. I think JackeyLove might be a little angry that Leave has disrespected him in this way. We'll see if it actually pans out to anything, but I like to see this for top esports because it enables decision-making around the rest of the map. JackeyLove getting caught here now, though, but PP got taking over half his health and damage there. Nice little hail of arrows, going to get some damage on the Leave, too. Kanavi is, meanwhile, looking at topside for a potential underpower dive. If he's got his anchor weights on here as they get him into the wall. The CC chain is there, the flash away, and a nice little fade-away kill for 369 for top esports' first blood.
Really well played, and unfortunately for Aki, he took a bit of a different path there, ending up actually going for his wolf, so he's not actually able to prevent that fight from happening, or even help his top laner, so really well played coming in from TES. It is the investment of both flashes from 369 and Kanavi, so hopefully that's something that we can see potentially punished here for NIP, especially with Grub spawning in a minute's time. Something I did want to note, typically when we see Kennen, we were like, hey, someone has to take exhaust, and Gwen has been very popular since she does have so many dashes. Has been, you know, an option that we've been seeing a couple of our top laners take, so interesting to see, and we'll have to watch if Shanji is going to be as active, because Kennen has to match Kennen now if he wants to be effective in team fights.
It seems like we just had something happen bot lane, though, as Cleanse just recently got burned by Leave, so it seems like bot lane dominance is still the name of the game for top esports, and being able to hurt onto NIP's duo down here. You have both junglers hovering back around this side of the map. Dragon is up for Kanavi to start up. Top esports earlier in their series, in the earlier game at least, were willing to go for that early tempo there, but Grub's coming up in less than a minute.
This is just really well played. I love how TS have played this early lane. We'll see. Aki is going to get spotted on this ward. Kanavi instead, they want to just try to take control of the Tri-Brush.
Gets the
nice
smash.
cancel.
That's really well timed. Gets out of the handshake as well. Aki came with his dancing shoes. Double knock up there on the JackeyLove and Chris. Another bramble smash to knock back Kanavi. Now Aki going for the sapling into the bush. He might have bitten off a little more than he could chew, though. Flash from JackeyLove gets flashed onto, but not going to go down just yet. Grand Starfall bailout, and Doinb has made impact, and Doinb has made the difference, because Leave just got the redemption of the lifetime. Doinb, go ahead and strut your stuff, King.
PP God played that fight so amazingly on this recon, delays so much time from TES, and Creme's just like, well, I'm playing his ear. I can't exactly match that. Great roam from Doinb, makes the play happen. As we get into this replay, again, starts off with his Bramble Smash to stop Kanavi from getting the crash, and now there's no handshake. So again, PP God gives the shield, he knocks up the bottom lane of TES, and now they're stuck in this really awkward position. Doinb
he gets level 6.
Level 6 right here. And I mean, Creme just doesn't have enough mana. He can't ult. He can't get in there and try to save the rest of his team.
That's like literal milliseconds right there to try to get the difference. And that is the difference. Doinb, in his super carry form, will enable his bot lane and now enable himself. He's gotten the lead we craved from the draft. And NIP will also take all 3 grubs to start us off.
And this actually bails out this bottom lane, because remember, we were already talking about from draft that Varus Renata should be very dominant from the laning phase. They should be looking to extend their punishment. Shanji, you're
instant
gone.
slicing Maelstrom onto Shanji. He is going to have the needlework to try to heal up here. Nobody's coming to save him, though, and he will just go down.
I love that punish. As soon as Shanji dashes forward, 369 says, yeah, no, that's not allowed. We're just going to go ahead and handle this one. So, fantastic job. Again, 3 grubs now going over to NIP. I think the fact that they're able to trade a kill is nice, but NIP at least keeping themselves in this game, and if they can contest for this next dragon, they could potentially look to fight off TES, knowing that there's some summoner spells missing.
Yeah, the punishments are big, I think, that you can have. But I think continued tempo control is very important here, and specifically for NIP. I think now a little bit later in the dragon scaling stacking going on, but we do have presence down on this bot side. Would be really nice for NIP to start realizing that stacking objective.
Maybe there's a play in here. ultimate. There's no vision here. They're going to spot out Kanavi on the bottom side.
Oh man, he skirts around the corner and
no.
all the way downtown. Here comes the Nature's Grass. Doinb using that speed up. The flash going to come through onto Creme. He's going to flash, scramble, smash, the heal, the damage. Doinb going for the execution and gets him. The hostile takeover goes completely wide from top Esports' bot lane, but Leave still pays the ultimate price. JackeyLove getting his kill, and now he'll have a twofer. He'll have more, and that's going to be a 3-1 start for JackeyLove as well.
Massive amount of kills going over to the side of TS's bottom lane, and that's another plate here. I love that we see the demolish tech coming in from Chris. Something we got to see from the double range bot lanes of Yor with double marksman here. So TS, they get some kills on the bottom side of the map, but Doinb is now really fed on this. And you can take a look exactly. I mean, Chris just tried to cut off one of the entrance ways, forces lead basically to a chokehold here, and despite the kills going over, a lot of gold in JackeyLove's pocket. I will say, the map state here for NIP is not completely doomed. Doinb can very easily drop a couple of these mid-lane waves and look to try to fight on the opposite side of the map alongside this dragon. So, still a lot of options here to play as TS do find themselves with 1,000 gold.
Yeah, I think the duality that we have these two super carries, not just Doinb, just taking the advantage early in Doinb and JackeyLove feels really nice. It feels like now we have very clear win conditions for both teams. In IP, it's going to be a little bit of a bridge win condition. Doinb can get you there. Leave will have to finish the job. But I love to see Doinb taking onus, taking responsibility for this early game, and making such a big impact as he has since he joined this NIP team.
And now we're seeing NIP, they're just deciding like, hey, we're going to play towards the top side of the map. We're going to put our bot lane in first and then move out, try to see if maybe we can potentially match. TS instead focusing on getting gold right now and playing around their carry. We talked about the fact that JackeyLove is so far ahead of Leave at this point, so I think for NIP, they're going to try and do their best to avoid wherever TES plays their legendary franchise player.
Yeah, I think it made me sad to realize that he's the final genius left in the league here when they gave those names so long ago. We're seeing a little bit of genius play on top side, though, as top Esports are trying to save 369. They save him. They get the kill into Aki. It's a 1-for-1. Leave will clean that one up. Here comes Crisp, though. Maybe at a 2v2, they can still win this one because Leave is very low. Handshake going to be saved here as well. Should be able to get PP got. Oh, that's just good. Nicely done with the grand interest to get out.
Really well played. Does turn into, obviously, the trade of kills and even a play here for JackeyLove. Oh, I think he just finds solo here.
Oh, JackeyLove, that genius on full display. He can't get the kill, but he put the pressure on a Doinb.
Oh, man. So Doinb's going to have to recall. Can very easily make this play. Now, how many grubs can TES take? Because we're seeing them redeploy onto the map. They'll probably be able to at least take one of these grubs, especially with them regenning. I'm waiting for Doinb. He has ultimate, and now he's finished the Eclipse.
He's got the smite. He's going to get it. So he does end up taking that last one. We'll split the difference here, 3-3 for grubs. Doinb back going onto the map, waiting for a Grand Starfall. There's pings, there's arrows, they want it. PP got finds the preemptive knock up onto JackeyLove. The blast code over the wall. Here comes Leave on JackeyLove's skin. He chases him down, and he does take him down. That'll be a nice pick out from NIP.
400 gold going over to Leave, and even here, how much can Doinb actually do against 369? I feel like you're not going to be able to deal all that much damage. You're giving up a lot of waves here. You're missing out on mid. Leave had to take his recall here, so NIP are trying to take a lot of fast plays. They're trying to pick up kills and ruin some of the tempo of TES, but TES are like, fine, we will just grab a lot of free waves, and you are dropping some free gold for yourself.
You are indeed. I think it can be a little bit difficult to see those things in real time, but we are getting to see some of those little differences at least pay off here. Now it is first items being completed across the board. Do we believe in the difference between the teams now, at least with that early game focus for NIP now that they do have these first items?
Yeah, I think the Eclipse adds so much durability, especially for a champion like this Pantheon, so I'll be interested to see that. The problem that I'm having is Aki and Shanji are incredibly poor in this game. Like, we have Shanji with no first item, all still done. Aki is eventually going to be able to pick up a Leandries, but I mean, we're already seeing the heart steals being stacked here for Kanavi, and JackeyLove, like you were saying, is still really far ahead at this time. Already he had this Blade of the Rune King finished a long time ago.
Yeah. I mean, it's just a little bit of the JackeyLove show here for Top Esports for sure. Love to see the pickup of the lethality. Varus just being completely the lock-in now, I guess, across the table. You do see now, though, Doinb trying to respond to top lane won't be impactful just yet. But this is also where we have to talk about what we were discussing in draft, in compositional differences. NIP want to go in. They want to dive. If you're behind, that makes it much more difficult. Top Esports, they're fine waiting for these timers. They're fine waiting for these objectives to spawn and take their fights around those because they have that team fight-oriented composition.
Especially when you look at the solo laners right now, their experience, both Creme and 369 on their way towards level 11. So for the next few minutes, and I'm looking at that Herald timer in 2, that is going to be a massive power spike in their ultimates and being able to have a game-changing fight for TES.
I wonder if they're going to be able to take this bird down fast enough to that standing goal, because Kanavi's getting collapsed on right now by Shanji. As he goes over the wall, Aki waiting to go in. They get the double impale into the Chains of Corruption. Is it the knockup on JackeyLove that makes the difference here? Creme with the double, and JackeyLove cleans one up, and so does Kanavi. All of a sudden, you blink and you miss it, and they're gone. Meanwhile, Doinb has ended up going with the Grand Starfall towards topside. Turret will fall bot lane.
Massive. I mean, those are 4 ultimates used, and even the flash from JackeyLove. I think Crisp and Kanavi setting up so well for that play. It was a trade, a couple of those ultimates. Some of them will not be available for that Herald, so while it is a trade here for NIP, I just want everybody to watch the jungle and support of TES. It looks like it's a pick onto Kanavi, but just sets up so perfectly. Chains of Corruption, the hostile takeover as well, just to spend so much time. And now you have no flash on Aki. I think it's so tough for NIP. Can they play the map instead is kind of going to be the question, as they are missing a lot of these summoner spells and a lot of these team fight ultimates.
It's just not working out, and now a steady almost 3,000 gold lead for Top Esports. Rift Herald coming up in about 40 seconds. Teams already on the top side of the map here as Kanavi's finishing clearing up his side of the jungle. He should just have 369 in bot side with TP available. This is where things get scary though, Alk. Like with an advantage and with Top Esports having control of the map, the TP flanks from 369 to like game-ending slicing maelstroms, that's just a nightmare.
He has flash, he already has the proto belt. I wonder how much time he'll actually have here in the bottom lane if he'll be able to pick up what looks to be a needlessly large rod so that he can get closer to Shadow Flame. I love what 369 is doing. This is what you should be doing back at home in solo queue. Push your lane and then drop in a fog floor, because it is so easy for the enemy team to be like, well, I don't know where enemy top lane is. You can try to take home for yourself, and this looks like going to be another turret here for TES.
A little shout out to 369. He's been having himself a day on the Renekton, and then now this cannon. Just feels like maybe a little bit of that momentum from the last game is helping Top Esports out here against NIP. This is the true test for Top Esports. In a second time, can they just put down NIP and look to move on to being undefeated in Group C? Try to be another big threat in Group Ascend. Kanavi gonna miss the impale. PP God dodging out of that one. Rift Herald started up by NIP.
And TES, instead of going straight into topside river, they gave up position in here, so this is going to be just a free Rift Herald for Ninjas in Pyjamas. With no impale either, they know they're routed behind them. Creme is coming in from a flank. What a great gambit from NIP. They did have to give up their mid-tier one, so unless we see a turret changed in exchange here from NIP, I think TES are not going to feel too bad about that, and they already have position over this dragon spawning in 45 seconds. No one is matching this bottom lane push.
Yeah, and that's all that really matters at this point is Top Esports taking fights they know they can take, because they will have a very scary competition as time goes on. A side lane turret goes down to Doinb. We find that one. We're getting closer and closer to the feats of strength for either side, but now those redeploys definitely getting centered around this dragon pit. TP available for Creme, so they'll keep him in the side lane for now.
I want to do an item check once we're done with this this lower third graphic. Okay, so getting close to a second item here for Leave, and a black cleaver almost done here for Doinb.
Uh-oh.
wonder if this is really going to be the fight that NIP want to take here. I think you probably just want to say, look, we don't need to rush this objective. We can play towards the bottom side of the map, reinforce some of our stronger members, maybe even trade this, as we know that Dragon isn't going to be a stacking objective right this moment.
I think they want to fight for it. I mean, they've already started it up. TP's coming down. Now that TES realized that they had started it. JackeyLove is on 2 items, by the way. He just hit Gwinsu's. That is terrifying. That might be enough for NIP to pull away from this one. They're going to Rift Herald bot side here. Aki goes in. It's going to be taken by Kanavi. That's second Dragon in a row. Nature's Grass comes across with the hostile takeover going back. The reprise is there. The push from Creme. JackeyLove is still kicking. He's still pumping, and he's got those 2 items.
Wait, they're winning it.
Tries to find the backline. JackeyLove in face-to-face with Leave. Has he found his better on his skin? Lee puts down the entirety of top esports. A triple kill for the new face of NIP.
Leaf was untouched in that fight, got to use both of his summoner spells, and now NIP get to eat their cake and have their cake and eat it too. They'll be able to get damage down on mid lane wave. Even if they don't, Shanji's already pushing on the bottom lane wave. And as we look at this replay, yes, they use the Rift Herald. I just want to know how much of this damage. Doinb eats all of this during the Impale. He's using his E, so he's taking none of this from NIP. Creme tries to get in the back line. 369 is way too late at this point, and there's no bailout coming in for JackeyLove. So TES, everything just doesn't fire when they try to take down Doinb, and it comes up clutch for NIP.
That damage, though, my God. First of all, how's Valkai doing the most damage on the team? That's actually insane. But it was target selection. That was the biggest thing. That was the problem there for top esports, and the boon for NIP.
Right, NIP looking a lot more competitive than what we got in their first game up against TES when we saw them in the first round robin. So, I don't know, if NIP want a chance to be able to end first in this group, they need to not only beat TES and obviously win the rest of their games, but they also need to win in under 7 minutes from here, because it comes down to game time. And top 2 do not play tiebreaker games, so if they want to be able to end first and have the prestige of being able to get revenge against top esports, they're going to need to close out this game, and they still got a lot of structures to work.
They do indeed, and it's going to be a lot of standing gold available to them. They're almost on 3 items now for Leave after picking up all that gold. That's going to be pretty massive now. He has the Yuntals and the IE, so this Kaisa is doing damage. And I think it's going to be really difficult to guide around that unless they can single target him. I think if you land an Impale, if you get a big handshake, but right now, I mean, the only form of just straight up lockdown is the Impale from Kanavi.
We did say that coming in, that TES, this was going to be a team composition that is so reliant on strong team fighting, and while we have seen that from them, this time around, again, some of those flaws from TES are starting to show. Still have a lot more options in this game. Kanavi's going to be close, or 369 is going to be very close to finishing his second item with the Shadow Flame coming on through. Creme just did the same, finishing the Laundries. So big damage power spikes coming in, and obviously JackeyLove is going to continue to be very powerful, but those scaling options that we talked about are starting to come through. And Lennon, I'm looking at that Otacon not only in the fact that it is a very powerful objective with the Ruinous, with the fact that you will get those bonuses from the Elder objectives, but the Blood Roses are going to be so important for a team like NIP. You're already seeing it getting ripped open.
Oh, yeah.
Alright, NIP gonna know. They get spotted now.
Aki do end up seeing it going down. They don't have much control over on this side of the map. It's already down about 3,000. They're going to try to take the fight afterward. They have to stick around and get the roses. Nature's Grass comes in. Doinb finds the backline. Doinb, my super carry. 07 salute. 3-man Impale. Is it enough? Creme setting back the paces. Good 369, able to do some decent damage. Creme goes down finally to Doinb, and Doinb might just run away with this one. The man, the myth, the legend, he's back in our league and he's making it known. That's a massive pantheon in the mid lane for NIP.
You know, Doinb said that vacation time, that father Doinb time was done. It's time to go back to being pro player Doinb, but in this game, He is straight up sunning Creme. He said, sit down, let me show you how mid lane Pantheon works. He slides right into the back line and takes out any chance of TES winning that fight.
Oh my god, it's actually insane to see what he has accomplished here on this Pantheon.
Look, he just gets right to the back line, him and Leave dealing so much damage, and this is where I thought the fight was going to turn. A 3-man impale into the setup from a 4-3-6-9, but I mean, now you just see no one is attacking the carries, and like we said, Doinb on this Pantheon is so difficult to deal with. A lot of blood roses being split between both of these teams, and that means we're getting closer to like a level 16 Gwen, which we haven't seen too much from Shanji this game, but Gwen is an inevitability. We have to imagine that it's going to have some kind of impact.
You have to think it's going to have something to do with this one. Dragon number 3 set up for top esports now. See if NIP can take this one away. 369 has been spotted out. Dragon goes over the way of NIP. The delay, the stacking here of top esports. Top esports looking for an exit strategy now. Maybe now after the ultimate use. Creme was looking for the dash combo with the Creme shuffle. But it is just NIP that's slowly building this little lead that they've gotten.
I want to believe, man. I was one of the first people to be like, man, NIP might be them. Then I got burned in playoffs. I'm not gonna lie. I felt so bad. They immediately kind of dropped out of the playoffs, and I'm still waiting. I still feel like we're waiting on some of those big item carries, especially coming in from Creme and JackeyLove. But one of the big questions into this game was going to be, can Creme really live up to some of those control mage plays? Who's great on the kind of faux assassin in the Aurora. This time on the Azir, feels like he is a little bit quiet here, especially against Doinb.
Yeah, it definitely has been. I think the angles have been awkward in a lot of situations. I think that has to change. You're going to have this Azir as essentially part of the damage in the combo. I do still like the CC potential on the side of top esports, and I still think their kind of team-wide fight composition works. But you have to shore up the defenses. You have to make sure that Doinb just can't 100-0 JackeyLove.
This is insane. I can't believe it. There are so many questions, but now we're here 25.5 minutes. There is a Baron, so any small pick here could very easily turn into a Baron being available for both of these teams. And I think even we saw with that Dragon, TS are starting to feel some of that pressure in this game. We saw that they immediately went to start up the Dragon. They lose the fight around it. Aki steals the objective. And now coming into these fights, we are kind of looking towards NIP and some of these item completions. 3 items here for Leave. Doinb is going to continue. He just finished a Stair Escape, so he's going to be even more annoying to deal with.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to be so hard to kill, not only with the shield, but with his build coming through too. NIP are just looking to clear a little bit of this top side at least and get some push going in to potentially threaten the Baron. But now, because that Dragon had gotten taken by NIP, it just feels like the threat from top esports is non-existent. Okay.
They are going to start this. They have the Kaisa. This goes down extremely fast, even with the Gwen on top.
It's gone.
Oh my
God,
God,
is just
TS?
absolutely gone. TS are just getting out macroed right now, trying to get in the pit, but Kanavi's not even close there. Got going to dash over the grand entrance. Here comes the fight. NIP want their cake and eat it too, like you said earlier. And Doinb has found the backline yet again. He is being chunked now. Massive 369 ult, and JackeyLove gets taken out by Leave. Leave is in the middle of everybody. Creme is still alive in top esports. They might have just done it. Aki is in a 1v3, but he's going down slow and sure. And top esports, they did it. 4 down, all 5 down, and it is only JackeyLove and Chris that pay the price.
NIP pull the trigger just too fast in that moment and immediately lose the Baron that they just earned for themselves. How much damage can TES do out on the map? This Azir should be able to whittle away at this turn, but probably waiting on another minion wave here. Let in this fight, man, just why are we looking for this? Where is PP-God? He's nowhere near to start this, and Crisp with his ultimate alongside Kanavi. They just stall up the backline. Leave has no flash going into this, and they just dive right into the waiting arms of the Emperor of Shurima.
Yeah, Creme just stepped it up right there. All the focus was on the JackeyLove, and he just, in that fight, did 4,800 damage. Lee definitely had a lot of say in that one as well, you saw there. But this is where the scaling comes online for the Azir, where you're getting to multiple item completions for him and why they picked this choice.
Okay, now here for NIP. Dragon spawning 45 seconds. It is only going to be soul point if TS can grab that for themselves, so I don't think we're going to be looking at least for another 10 minutes at potentially a soul. You can already see, despite losing their mid-tier 1, NIP are doing a really fantastic job of escorting Aki into these rivers, making sure that they can at least get very subtle vision with the saplings, and at least testing the mid-wave before TES can.
We're almost on 4 items for the lead. It's going to be a big break point for this guy. Again, the newest big face on NIP, at least, trying to be that carry. I mean, he has in a lot of these games, and now he has the Lord Doms. That tankiness in that front line is not going to exist for top esports. Dragon started up by them right now.
I just don't know if they can contest for this. Yes, Doinb can kind of fly in. There will be a team here for Shanji, but every moment that NIP are able to waste, it just allows them to reinforce. We're getting the teleport coming in from one of the members of TES, but it's complete darkness here around the Dragon.
Try to get in the pit. Shanji looking for an angle. It's taken by Kanavi there, so they will get soul point. PP got tries to find the backline. They found JackeyLove. They got him. He's going down. He's down now. No bailout there to save him. And top esports have lost bodies left and right. Creme can do nothing here as 369 Maelstrom in, trying to get some more kills back. Gets one, trying to go for more, but Creme flashing over into the waiting arms of his tower, at least getting the dash out with that one. Maybe they get him, maybe they don't. He's gonna get that speed up here and make his way out. No Void Seeker there. Oh, the spear not gonna be enough. Creme makes it out. Leave did almost 7,000 damage there, Alk.
Leave is putting the team on his back. Him and Doinb are just straight up winning these fights. And it was a Dragon secured for Kanavi, so TES now, I feel like they are just completely reliant on getting this next Dragon. The Infernal Soul for them has to be the make or break point. And PB got finding every single engage. Him and Doinb putting pressure onto JackeyLove, making it impossible for him or Chris or Creme to deal damage in these fights. And while yes, 369 is able to turn around, it's a little too late for the team, as now we're losing summoner spells on the Rift. And NIP are slowly whittling away at this lead. And remember, this started off with JackeyLove having a massive advantage over his counterpart. But it feels like as we go further, we talked about it from draft, the scaling advantage, the fact that this Kai'Sa is going to have so much damage, that Shanji eventually is going to have so much true damage in this Gwen. And the front line from NIP is just doing wonders to be able to get and make chaos here for TES.
And the fact that Leave is almost 2 items over JackeyLove. You'd love to see that, as we do see a lot of tankiness coming through JackeyLove now. Has that Terminus, but also going for a very tanky item on his 4th as well. Now, there is not much to fight for on the map. Baron in about a minute and a half. But I do think some of this time between does help top esports at least. And there is their decision making around the soul fight that's coming up in 3 minutes.
It'll be time for them to pick up a couple items. I think if they are kind of trying to min-max as much as possible, preferably, I think I would love to see either Creme be able to finish whatever this blighting tool is going to become, or potentially letting someone like JackeyLove pick up what looks to be a Jock Show coming in, because if that is not going to be the case, I feel like your carries need to have the amount of DPS requisite to actually win you a fight. We need to see them draw clear battle lines for this team. Creme already level 18. I feel like he has done basically everything he's had to do in a lot of these fights, but we need to see more from him and the rest of TES.
Yeah, absolutely. You can see some clarity in how they want to take these fights as well. Realizing that JackeyLove is the most important person. Like, Creme is doing wonders, but if you don't have this dual threat, it makes it so easy for NIP to just pick you apart. Trying to play it around maybe JackeyLove surviving now that he's a little bit tankier. There's no vision for top esports, though. They have to be very careful how they step forward.
A point of criticism I do want to levy for TES is 369 has been taking really forward engagements, and that is not typically what we want or expect of a Kennen. You're usually looking for flanks, trying to find some kind of entrance in the back line. It feels like TES have never really played with the ability for 369 to actually go and find a surprise angle onto NIP. And maybe that is the way. There's almost a fourth item here for this Kennen. I know we were talking about a little bit before, 369, his career has kind of had like these phases where he was this carry player, but he was then maligned for not being able to play tanks. Well, then he goes to JDG, plays all the tanks, but then it's, hey, you can't play the carries like a player like Bid. So now he's trying to really kind of balance both worlds, and kind of seeing some of that Jekyll and Hyde here reflected as both teams now jockeying for position around this Baron, and soul spawning in a minute.
Oh, 369. I don't know. Like, I thought he saw them there around the corner, but that's going to be a massive pick. I mean, they can't do anything here. JackeyLove going to step up, gets the Chains of Corruption on Doinb, but that's going to be instant cleanse out of that one.
Kanavi? Wait,
from
what?
PP God. Kanavi is now losing his mind as well. TP has arrived from NIP, and this might just mean the Baron. Like, they can't do anything.
Yeah, this is for sure going to be the Baron. Kanavi's going to have to jungle privilege his health back if he wants a chance. And Gwen, Doinb, and this Kai'Sa rip apart this objective. TES, they're going to have to risk
Kanavi,
it all.
he can't even get in the pit. There's not even a chance there. They don't even get it, and that will be a Baron secured by Aki and Co. Massive advantage now for them, over 2,000 gold. We'll see now Dragon Fight coming up soon.
Yeah, 5 seconds. TES need to be on this objective immediately. Doinb's already teleporting. Shanji's not even a bother to recall here, and this needs to be ripped apart. Guys, start this objective, please, I swear to God.
Leave is full build. Leave.
369 has TP. You need this Infernal Soul.
Oh, it needs to come down now. It needs to come down quick. Leave is getting into the fight, and he has full
They got
items.
it.
It is secured. They need to get out now, but they're losing bodies. Nice knock up at the flash away. Will secure at least a little bit of safety for top esports. 369 waiting for the engage. Doinb, he's found him. JackeyLove bailed out, but not going to be bailed out enough. 369 with the slicing maelstrom
Leave.
does massive damage, but Leave is on the back line. Leave is cooking him. He is making it known that he wants more, and a double kill is there. They lose the Dragon Soul, but it is an advantage for NIP.
They've got a bot lane wave as well. How much damage can NIP grab? I feel like TES have waited way too long. They have given NIP a way into this game, and we're just seeing it fall to pieces here as Ninjas in Pyjamas are looking to take what is the battle for first here in Group C in most dominant fashion around some of the carries in this team in Doinb and Leave.
God, what a world we'll be in if NIP win this one and make this group a little bit more spicy between the two. Because it was very dominant the last time we saw top esports take on NIP. The blue side is now making a big difference. Oh my God, 369 is just gone. I mean, this is cooked.
Yeah, this game looks quite over at this point. 5,000 gold in 35 minutes. We get this replay, and I mean, look at where 369 is teleporting. He's nowhere near this fight. By the time he gets here, the fight's already over. At this point, why are we trying to save Kanavi? They should have already been in this position 5 seconds earlier. And like we just saw, Lee trying to get into the back line. This 369, yes, you kill Aki, but look what happens. Lee just rip apart your back line.
God, man.
And it just feels like, again, we've been saying this for TES, too little, too late here. In the third game of the day, NIP are just in too much of a dominant position here in their game. And now we're just going to have to see, can they close it out? They've had some missteps here, but I think it was just too overwhelming.
Look at these guys, man. Doinb and Leave combining to be one of the deadliest duos of carry potential here in the league, it feels like, this year. And a story that maybe you wouldn't necessarily expect from these two coming together, but they are making it look damn good. I would love to see Leave's damage done after this. He had multiple, like 6,000+ damage fights already in this one, and we did just get more tanky items complete for Doinb. We're getting full item builds for a majority of members here, and we even already had boots sold by Leave and a 6th item bought.
Oh,
like, this guy is rich.
Dancer. Yeah, he wanted the Phantom Dancer, so it gives him some of the requisite movement speed and obviously the attack speed. Going for the crit itemization, I would say it's not as popular, but crit usually just has a higher ceiling when it comes to damage, so I respect that Lee kind of changes up his build, recognizes that he's probably going to have to max DPS as much as possible in these fights. So I can't believe we're looking at a spotlight in where TES with an Azir, with a Skarner, with Infernal Soul
are
going to lose this game in the fashion that we've seen.
And it comes from that draft conversation of what the bar of execution for NIP was. And they have reached it twofold, it feels like, at this point. And all that scaling that Top Esports had, all that team fight potential, is just no use when you have Doinb deleting your backline every single time. Now, Jack's show had gotten completed for JackeyLove. Maybe he stays alive this point, but it feels like the damage is already done, and NIP have shown that these kinds of comps work for them, utilizing the meta, but also going with their own flair.
One thing I will say in favor of TES is that they have been able to, or the game has been slowed down a little bit to the point where with all these structures gone, it is a bit tough for NIP to hit on the turrets. They're rather short range, so they're very reliant on having to take fights and then play the map. So a minute before this Baron, Lennon, this feels like within the next 2 minutes, whether it be this Baron or the Elder, we are going to get one of the last fights in this game. TS still can kind of fight back into this position. There are not that many structures on the side of NIP, but the same can be said for TES. And I just feel like you need to be able to get into this position. If you're not going to win on this item power spike, the game is never going to be able to be winnable.
Yeah, I need JackeyLove to go Super Saiyan. I need Creme to go Super Saiyan if they are going to have a hope in this one. But right now, NIP have crossed all the check marks off, and they are finding real advantages here. Now, it does feel like one fight makes the game deciding fight, either Baron or the Elder. And like you said, 30 seconds on that Baron buff here. It would help the push in at least, but the fight potential around the Elder is definitely what you want to think about as well. Void Seeker's going a little bit wide there, but you can see NIP are putting priority around the Baron pit.
My eyes are looking towards vision and where it is being placed right now in favor of NIP around the top side of this map. There are no flank wards, but I think right now 369 and the rest of TES are focused on let's take control of mid, then we'll move towards this objective. Just now the Baron is going to be spawning here.
It's going down so fast.
Flash.
They realize they need to get in here. Kanavi, is this the moment? Can you pull it back from the brink of desolation? He's getting the three-man impale into the Maelstrom, into the combo. 369, he can play those damn carries. A super carry Doinb coming in, but JackeyLove has gotten enough tankiness to survive. Look at him. He's just packing away here as Top Esports. That team fight potential is strong. A triple kill for Creme.
Oh no, do they have a mid-wave though?
They lose. They lose.
They got the Baron. They're going to teleport it in. They're taking inhibitors.
Look at him. 8,000 damage done in that fight by 369. You needed a carry, and 369 rolls nines all day, baby. That's going to be Top Esports taking one of the most thrilling games we've had, all split, but they will remain dominant in Group C.
You know, I called it earlier that Doinb was winning the fraternity test up against Creme, but he's like, hey, I just don't think that matters. I'm going to go ahead and take my free win from our team. Great team fight from at the end there from TES. Oh my God.
There was these like ramping moments, right? You're getting to a point where Doinb is still one-shotting JackeyLove, but there comes a point where JackeyLove gets too tanky, and it just didn't matter. They knew, like, that's the kind of realization for Top Esports that when they realize, okay, what do we need to do? Oh, protect JackeyLove. All 5 members are playing around this guy, and it looks so beautiful when they can pull it off.
We'll have a replay of that last fight, but literally it is Skarner ultimate, 3 members, into the Renata ultimate, into JackeyLove, and just set up the rest of the team. The fight is just over at that point. I kind of loved at the end, while you were kind of going off on there, Creme walks by Shanji, and Shanji's just like very angrily like shakes him. I get it, you know, former teammates. I love that there's still some love there, but damn, heartbreaking there for NIP, winning almost the game. And
Shanji
similar to how
Aki.
we were talking, similar to how we were talking about FPX almost beating NIP ended up.
It happens again, man. I love to see the OMG boys still having some good times together.
Yeah.
But they're like, damn, I remember now why Creme was pretty damn good. Why he 1v9'd on that OMG roster. And it just came to a point where Top Esports knew their win condition and played to it very well. Even if they had some big losses there, they knew that once they got to this point, once they had a good executed team fight, it was all easy from down there. And I think that also brings up that conversation the entire time of the bar of execution that NIP needed. I mean, they needed to be on their P's and Q's every single time they took fights, but you slip up once like that at the pivotal moment when we've already pushed the game to the brink, makes it really difficult.
And that is also some of the criticism that we've had. The lack of precision from NIP has hurt them in very crucial series, especially in playoffs. So something that they'll have to go back to the drawing board to, something that I'm sure they're like, literally the victory was in our grasp and it took one fight. The fact that a team almost lost with Infernal Soul is just insane to me.
But they didn't.
Yeah, and that does mean that TES have officially locked a spot into Group Ascend, so one of those slots is gone. If FPX are able to do quite the unimaginable, they have 2 matches in this. They have to beat OMG, which they have done before. They have to beat NIP in the last game of the day if they want a chance to automatically lock a chance into Group Ascend.
You got a straight vein of Copia right there, but I like it. You got to give the opportunities.
I want a Game 7 tonight, boys. I want a Game 7.
I'm sure Rude Dude's going to be very happy you said that for sure. But
I'm producing,
what a
man.
performance.
That's my fault. I'm cursing myself.
Just how awesome is it that we get to experience games like this? Legendary names, but then the gameplay backs it up like that, and you had 369 doing as much damage as Leave did on the Kaisa, and that gold graph is an LPL legend right there.
I remember we were at like 25, 30 minutes, and we were like, this gold graph's going to be dumb. Bro.
It's over. It's done. Like, we literally said, this is cooked for Top Esports.
It is. There's
Look
no
at that
other
gold.
word.
It's an 8,000 gold swing.
It's, yeah.
Oh my God, dude.
Who do we even give MVP to? Because for a long time,
100%.
Come on, man. Most of this game, 369 was kind of.
Dude, he had some good slicing maelstroms.
Don't look.
Don't look at this one right here.
Don't look at this one. I really feel like a lot of the members of TES, this is one of those games that because from like minute 15 onwards, TES lacked a lot of the like very clean team fights. There's going to be a lot of question marks as to, for me anyway, who I'm giving MVP. Honestly, the person who had like the most consistent game is one of our bot laners. Like Crisp on this Renata was so pivotal in so many fights.
I think Creme though deserves a little bit of a shout out as well. I know like probably 55% of that game looked a little tough, but that's what this Azir does, right? You get to a point where you can't be dealt with when you're not being the focus or the pivotal point of the team, and these Shurima shuffles were really big, but it wasn't to NIP not trying, right? They were getting some really good engages back.
Yeah, well, one of the pieces of criticism I will kind of levy is that I really do feel like just carries for Shanji have not worked for this team. Unfortunately, it feels like NIP operate best when you do have some facilitators, some damage carries like Aurora, like the Pantheon for Doinb, and then let Shanji, Aki, and PP God play frontline. Let them be the people that are allowing the carries of this team to really work. Because even coming into today, I did kind of have this team as Leave and then 4 wards. Because Leave really has been smurfing, and I think that was reflective in this game.
Dude, him and JackeyLove just battling it out in this game. That's going to be some good memories for a lifetime here as well. You see the multiple engages Doinb tried to find. Like, I was very impressed by his impact on the Pantheon.
For sure. And that this was a surprise, right? Because we came in saying, like, hey, the laning phase can be, playable for US Pantheon, but we're looking you to really play the map, and we didn't really see all that much from Doinb. What in fact
that
actually
bot lane
first
play.
Yeah, sure, but then after that it was, I'm actually just going to just like throw my body into the back line, and there's not much that TES can actually do to stop me, sans like turning all of their attention. And I think Pantheon, for as somewhat gimmicky this champion can be, that E is one of the most impactful ability. This is the last fight of the game that we wanted to see, and JackeyLove plus Crisp and this Kanavi ultimate, just this trio, this champions trio, just was so pivotal.
Dude, Creme just untouched in that whole fight. Holy cow. That initial wombo combo from Kanavi and 369. I'm so happy to see these guys back together again from all their time on JDG. I know they wanted to play with each other, very much so. So nice to see those combos working out. And we'll see who LPL ends up giving the MVP towards. If you had to give it off right now, who is it off top of your
I'm
head?
giving it to Crisp. I
Crisp.
rarely give it to our supports, but Crisp actually played a really mean Renata game.
Okay, well, we'll see who ends up getting it, and I do believe it is going to be Kanavi, who claims yet another MVP, I believe.
Fair. That's
his
fair.
fourth one of the tournament.
Yeah, they've played, what, like now 6 games, and 4 of them MVPs? It's really
Pretty good.
Impressive.
Circles.
Yep.
Anyways,
Very
that's,
cute.
yeah, I think absolutely deserved. His Skarner looked menacing. And that Impale in the end, game winning. Now that is going to be it for me on the day. I know you're going to be switching over to Prod. We're going to be welcoming on Grapes and Rude Dude to finish out the day. Thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you after a short break and a caster swap. Don't miss it.